All right, welcome to topic 3-6, looking at example 2, working a little more with how our part equals percentage times whole can fit into different scenarios, in this case looking at interest rates. So in example 2, we see how Maya's older sister got a loan to buy a used car for $3,400. And if we look over here in our picture, we see that there is additional information right here where it says $850 is being paid every month. So step one, of course, is then to think about our equation and think about what kind of information we need to have. And so if we actually jump down to step 2, we understand that we're going to take an interest rate. That's what we don't know. That's what we're looking for. We do know the loan amount, but then the part, of course, would have to be the interest amount. And of course, to find that interest amount, we're going to backtrack and we're going to take 12 months of interest times $8.50, which is what we're seeing right here. And so in the end, we're able to calculate that out and get this value of the interest amount. From there, it's just figuring it out, right? You know that since your part is your interest amount, you can plug in the 102 percentage, loan amount, and then you start solving, right? So you see them getting rid of that 3,400 on one side, which means you got to do it on the other side. So 102 divided by 304. And so you get this decimal, but then remember that this has, hard to write small, is this idea of percent, right, divided by 100. So we're going to have to multiply our decimal by 100 to get this 3% interest rate. So once again, we're continuing to take the information and plug it into our equations. Right? It's just taking time to sit down and think about, okay, what's the part, what's the whole, how does this all fit together, what is missing, what do I need to find? As we step into example 3, we see yet another situation that we want to plug in and start to figure out. So we see 1.5% interest rate. Okay, we have seen that idea before. And starts with this picture. Jake estimates that assuming he neither adds to or withdraws from his account, he will earn $240 in interest after 10 years. How much did Jake deposit when he opened the account? And so as we understand this, right, part equals percentage times a whole, right, still working with that equation, we need to understand that, okay, what is the whole? The whole, of course, is his initial deposit. All right. Percentage is going to be our rate, 1.5%. Okay, so we have that. And now we need to know our simple interest earnings for this, but we have a little bit of problem. You see, this focuses on, right, two numbers, 10 years. We have a rate that extends over 10 years, while this percentage only applies to 1 year. So the first thing we need to do is figure out how much is being added to the account each year. So that simple interest, what it actually is. Right? So that's where we're going to. So keeping that in mind, we have to find that interest for 1 year. So you can plug this into a number line. You can use different numbers to help you solve this. But what we do know is that you got $240 after 10 years. So we have this illustration right here, right? 240 after 10 years. And so if I want to figure out for 1 year, right, you could kind of set it up as this kind of ratio, right? We've done stuff like that before, 10 years, 1 year. Now we want to solve, which in the end is going to be 240 divided by 10, which is going to be 24. So in the end, our simple interest for 1 year is $24. All right, with that in mind, now we can start and put this into our equation and understand what's going on. And so as we start to write this out, right, we have our 1.5 interest rate, and we're multiplying by, we're looking for D for deposit, and we just solved for our amount of interest, which was $24. And so we need to convert our percentage into a decimal. So, right, divide by 100. So that's going to give us this rewritten equation, just like what you're seeing over here. So understanding that that percentage here needs to be divided by 100 so we can actually use a number and solve. And solving is just that, right? Since we're multiplying this number times this number, we're going to have to divide by this number to start, and then divide by the same number on the other side. This, of course, will cancel out, and 24 divided by 0.015. So in the end, we see that this 24 divided by 0.015 is equal to this number right there. And so that is how much Jake deposited. Okay. So looking at this, we've continued to use the same equation for a number of lessons now. We just have to make sure we're taking the right steps, plugging in the right spots at the right time, and making sure that we're solving for what is actually being asked for, right? All right, that takes us to the end of lesson 6, 3-6. Go ahead and do the try it. Bring your questions to class and gladly answer them.